Hello, and I'm Nostalgia Craig. I remember it so you don't have to. We all love crossovers, don't we? I mean, sure, we all do. Watching the different minds working together, the different interactions between the characters, and the way that the plots can sometimes bring to life magical adventures for every single one of our favorite heroes. Which is why it's so annoying when somebody out there thinks that they can actually pull it off and then messes it up horribly. What am I talking about now? What has really burned my biscuit? Well, it's a little known movie called Emerald Ball Z, created by some putz named Alchemy Stewart or something. This thing, instead of doing the normal conventions and merging together the best of fanfics, like, say, all the elements you love from all your favorite series, has actually decided to break the norm and actually merge together the worst of your favorite shows. And actually decides to merge together what he thinks is cool. The end result is something that reads like a 13-year-old's idea of what makes an epic adventure. But don't take my word for it. Let's watch. So we begin this movie with about over 2 minutes of production logos. Look, movies, we get it. We know you want your name in lights, but right now, we don't care. I just want us to get going and actually watch the movie. Well, after so long, we finally get going, where we meet up with Chaos. Oh, good, Chaos. He's a monster from Sonic Adventure. He's a pretty cool character and actually has some good depth to him. So, who's he meeting? Brawly? He's meeting up with Brawly? Why? Why is he... They're brothers. They are brothers in this. Well, of course that just makes sense. What other interesting revelations do you think that this author would come up with? Do you think Sauron is related to Sauron from X-Men? Or Apocalypse is Darkseid's long-lost cousin? Or Thanos is related to a can of grape juice? The possibilities are endless. So the two brothers start talking about how come they lost, and how come they got their butts handed to them by a Karen family, and decided to fuse together to work together as one. Because when I'm thinking a badass villain, I want to fuse with a guy that cried like a bitch when he was a baby because another baby was crying. Yep, that's the type of villainy we're going to be dealing with, folks. Be afraid. Be very afraid. And what does their fusion entail? They turn into Bros. What? Bros? Bros? Okay, Vic, maybe you haven't watched DBZ as much as you think you have, but don't you know the proper naming conventions of the world you're in? Like how they're all pun-based? Could you please tell me what type of pun or Japanese word matches up with the word bros? I would prefer if you named it brass or bass. Hey, or something. Well, then we get our title, Emerald Ball Z. How creative. And of course, it's going to have a dragon wrapping around it, because, well, this author lacks creativity. A lot of creativity is lost on this guy. And we start off our adventure with Great Sandman. Yeah, remember him? Of course, we all wanted to see our DB movie start off with him. Taking down a couple of mooks by the name of Toriyama and Akai. An incredibly clever reference to the original creators of the products they loved? Or the shameless shilling? You be the judge. Well, he meets up with Videl. Hey, Videl, I like her. Surely there's going to be some good character interactions. Nope. They instantly start off the fight, as Bros proceeds to attack as a giant monster and rampaging the city like Godzilla on a free holiday. And while he's proceeding to Godzilla and up all over the place, that's when everybody else comes in a true DBZ fashion. Everybody gets their butts handed to them. Repeatedly. And then the monster leaves. Why? Because according to villain rulebook number 1, you've got to let the heroes live even if it makes no sense whatsoever. Otherwise, you'll never get the plot going. And where is he headed? Mobius. Why Mobius? Because we wouldn't have a crossover. Well, as everybody is wiping their poor little booties after getting badly beaten, Goku decides that he is going to get some extra help. Like, how? Is this going to be an early introduction to, say, Beerus or even Jiren? Nope. He proceeds to go into the spirit world to communicate. Because, if I want to think about people meditating again, if you're doing visit quests, it's Goku. Except replace doing with not at all, and replace vision quest with there's no way in hell that this makes sense for the character. And once he gets in there, he goes into, not the spirit world as you may think, but Cameo Land. What's Cameo Land, you may ask? Well, that's where a bunch of random characters show up out of the blue and proceed to not say anything or do anything or have any importance to the plot, but just have walk-on roles to remind you that they exist and that they are a part of the product somewhere. Just, why? Can you believe this? What would it be like if, say, I had a random cameo almost every single 5 minutes just to remind you that the guy existed? Hello, and today on Pro Jared, who are you? Oh, I'm Pro Jared. I do video game reviews. How random. And so, after meditating and going to Cameo Land, he watches another fight sequence. Oh, come on! We just had one 5 minutes ago. Look, I know this is a Dragon Ball. I know that a lot of fight sequences have to happen. I know this. But can we have a little break, for things like character interactions or character development? Well, once the fight gets going, we're seeing a whole bunch of moves, and we're seeing overly detailed descriptions. Knuckles stops, and oh no. Please don't tell me we're about to pull off the old. Please tell me this is not more Ken Pender's bullcrap about how Knuckles is apparently gone and Sonic is the weakest character of them all, and we're going to spend hours upon hours selling Knuckles because, for some odd reason, I'm writing a Sonic comic, but I despise the main character. Well, it does, and that's the way it works. Speaking of which, I'm ready to finish the rest of this game just as soon as possible. Who are you? I'm the completionist. I'm ready to finish off the rest of this Sonic game, whatever you're playing. This isn't a Sonic game, and why are you here? Random cameo. Why does this only happen to my show? Well, Knuckles proceeds to do what he's going to be best at in this fic. Everybody, exposition, get that shit out ASAP. And he begins to exposit the entire backstory of Bros. Are you ready for this? Because you're about to watch the DBZ continuity, such as it is, get fucked up the ass. It seems that Bros was one time the minion of some bad guy named Meteor Man or whatever. Makes me think of a bad black superhero movie. And he proceeds to talk about how he's so evil and is proceeding to head off into the alternate universe and was defeated by Mewtwo. Wait, what? Mewtwo? And works under Kiss and the Bee Gees and is going to proceed to kick butt, and everybody needs to get worried, and that there's only one type of force that can stop them. Right. I'm not even 10 minutes in, And already this fic feels overly convoluted. Well, Goku agrees and decides to gather everybody. Yes, it's time to gather the best fighters from all Dragon Ball in order to head over to Mobius. Why Mobius? Why does Goku know about it? Because one time he visited Sonic's wedding. Apparently that's all you need to have a good friendship, is just to know that he exists. I'm so happy that nobody ever has any different characters, otherwise this would be mean. So Goku rounds up Vegeta, Krillin, 18, his son. Trunks is apparently 17 for some odd reason, even though he's supposed to be a kid. And his wife and... Okay, Bulma I can understand, but Chi-Chi too? What? And they all gather together and... Wait a minute. What? No Tien? No Cha... Okay, forget Chaozu. No Piccolo? Just this small little bigger team? Talk about disappointment. And what's worse? Well, my good friend Bum would like to say who he wants on there. Oh my god! I got exactly the greatest person that could ever pop up in my life! Yes, the one fighter who should have been on this team is my favorite. Yamcha. Yamcha is the strongest one of them all. Too right. Wait. Ask that guy. Aren't you dead? Correct. I should be dead. But, thanks to a wizard on the Dragon Balls, I have come back to life for this exact purpose of always popping up for this one review. And I want you all to remember, there's no such thing as a bad question until you ask it. This has been that guy with the glasses. Why do I keep getting these people? Well, with all that, they teleport back to Mobius, where Sonic rules as king. Oh great, we're all dead, aren't we? And Sonic proceeds to mac on Sally when Knuckles proceeds to interrupt Cockblocker Day he is. It tells us that Goku and the others are already there and and Sonic proceeds to introduce them. And we get introduced to Sonic Company. Yes, they're all there. Sonic, Sally, Sandra from a different fanfic, but the author decided to rename her Amy so that way he doesn't get into trouble. Sonic's kids. What? Why not just introduce them to Knack, Ray, Charmy, Vector, Mighty, Jeffrey, Hersey, the Down Under Freedom Fires, Lupe, Ari. I'm not a fan of the show. What makes you think that? Well, now that this whole entire team's going to get there, what is this magical MacGuffin that can actually take care of the evil Bros? Why, it's like the Sonic's Master Sword! I'm sorry, what's that? You don't think Sonic should have the Master Sword? Because Sonic is in no way worthy of it because of his character? Well, the author would kindly like to remind you that continuity is only for kids, and that the author would also like to remind you that he is in no way, shape, or form going to care about character consistency, plot elements, or anything else that could actually make an entertaining story. He's only going to write what he thinks is awesome. Have fun with your tale. Well, they explained that Mewtwo, when creating the Chaos Armor, siphoned off the power from the Chaos Force in order to create the Chaos Emeralds. Have I said Chaos too much? Oh, I'm not even done yet. He also created the Chaos Sapphires, the Chaos Rubies, the Chaos Diamonds, but he also created the Chaos Pink Pearls. These were so powerful that he talked to Spyro. Okay, I'm starting to think maybe I should put down a random-ass cameo counter on the screen, but I think it would explode within 5 minutes. And to proceed to make him the Eternal Dragon of the Pink Diamond Dragon Balls, Pink Pearl Dragon Balls, and then proceeded to send them all across the universe to different people he trusts. Why didn't he just keep them somewhere safe? Who knows? Mewtwo is an idiot, apparently. And now they have to go on a quest to get them. A quest? But how are we going to get there? The answer is in Tails, as he proceeds to put in some random all-get-out poems and then reveals the giant Mother Frackin' ship, which, according to the description, the dimensions to not being technically possible. But hey, gotta make sure you keep those references going, because it describes it not by words or size, but by comparisons. Hope you study up on your sci-fi lore, because that's all you're going to get. Oh, I can't believe we're going to go through all this. Just switch to somebody else. I need to fuck it all. Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Well, seeing that the critic refuses to review the next part, I'm not going to do the TMNT, I'm not going to do Power Rangers. It's up to me to actually look it up. Yes, that's right. The first part is a Power Rangers crossover. But don't ask the author to tell you which Ranger team it is. Apparently he's decided to, well, throw out all continuity altogether, make Zordon a human, get him married to Demetria, and then proceed to only have 12 Rangers. There isn't even any hint that the other Rangers exist. There isn't even any suggestion. It's just those 12, and that's it. Which is sort of a disappointment because the other teams are pretty dang cool too, and they deserve their own time to shine. Why not bring in one of the teams that was here at the time, like, say, Wild Force or Ninja Storm? Well, apparently the author doesn't have an answer to that, and proceeds to go off the rails almost immediately. As Zed and Rhea proceed to summon a giant monster, and then, probably undoubtedly one of the more awesome things in Ranger fanboy history exists. Yes, apparently he's decided to unleash all our Ranger fantasies by having all the Zords combine! Well, I would say it's all our Ranger fantasies if they weren't accepted back when Gokaiger existed. With all the Zords combined, they proceed to fight the giant monster. And yes, I know I should be complaining about all this, but forget it. As I've always said, what's cooler than a giant robot? Giant robots that combine into one. And they proceed to fight the giant monster, while Sonic and the others proceed to race into the giant monster and have their own uninteresting fight. There's one thing I can't stand as a fight scene, because what sort of reviewing am I going to say when all I can say is they punched each other? They punched each other hard. And so our little chapter ends with Kim and Tommy making out, all the Kebbles are together, and Nate immediately grabs a sword. Well, and next scene, we have had to deal with a lot of weird things here on Anime Abandoned. Guys with grenades attached to their pubes, people who are fixated on Nookie, and bind me, whip me, change me up and kiss me. Slip and slide, down we go. Yeah, that. But Wolfei turning evil for no apparent reason seems to be on the middle of that list. Why did the author decide to turn Wolfei evil? No reason. Just that the author doesn't like him. This is called Ron the Deaf Ear. I should know. I've had to deal with a lot of that in my time when I was, back when I was reading fanfics. Oi, I have to ask. If this is on the moon and the writer doesn't care who he crosses over with, are those sultry little shanty anywhere nearby? And is this gonna turn instead into Sailor in the Seven Balls at any time soon? Because that would actually make this kind of interesting. No, Slav, it isn't going to turn to Sailor in the Seven Balls. This is not that type of anime. But instead, what happens is that our Trave adventurers, and all of them are so beyond and not even the closest thing to their characterizations from their actual series, that I would be more inclined to give them all nicknames if I didn't already think that this thing was oversaturated and I didn't come up with anything funny to talk about. So instead, they all landed, and for some odd reason, they're fighting Ozolders? Wait, what? So, if I were to get this straight, from the beginning of this show, we have already figured out that, apparently, the Earth of this world has Dragon Ball Z as its future. What? Yep, Dragon Ball Z is the Earth of its future. I want to know how our future is going to wind up with dinosaurs and anthro animals, but maybe Lee Carr would better explain that. Yeah, I'm guessing it was probably done by Ray Palmer. That's my guess. Exactly. Some random comic book character I have no inclination of actually reading. So, what happens next? And also, we find out that apparently Gundam Wing is somehow also in our future. I would like to know how this world is going to have a deal with all those different types of futures when none of them actually make sense when you put them together. So Sonic, Goku, and Tails, I think you're going to find that these are going to be our main attacking force throughout most of the rest of the fic, proceed to start fighting, kicking butt, destroying things, nobody gets hurt, because of course. And it all ends off with them facing off against Will Fei, who is actually one of Gyros' androids, Android 21. Ha! Thank God the future! Isn't that right? Suave. Look, are you saying I was trying to make time with Android 21 behind your back? I know I saw you. Okay, so maybe I was a little. But then once it got down to the hand job, it started to become less fun. Wait, you actually asked the android for a hand job. Yes, and despite me actually enjoying the pain, it started to become less and less fun. The tire grip became on my happy place. I immediately ran out the door screaming. Right. So, who's the next story again? Well, hello there. You might be finding it a little odd that I, a cinema snob, am actually reviewing one of the parts of this so-called movie. Well, while it does not involve any porn or exploitation films, as a cinema snob, I do still see this as high art, because this one comes from a mind of a young, up-and-coming writer, and as such, I am destined to proceed to riff it and present to you all the horrors that come up with. For instance, despite the fact that we are enjoying his creativity and his love for the Mega Man franchise, the writer seems to forget one little thing. I have no idea who any of these people are! I never played the Mega Man games. I never enjoyed them. But nope, the author just decided to not only forget who he's writing for, but he's also decided to do something else that can be quite annoying. And that is throwing in so many references to his own continuity, his own interpretation of these characters, that none of us, nobody who's actually watching this story, knows who they are, so we cannot form a bond. And then, he just immediately throws us into a giant fight scene. Not that I don't mind. I enjoy seeing the awesome engaging fights, as they fully demonstrate the art of brother jutsu and how to throw everything at the wall to see what works and what sticks. Come on, guys. This ain't Mega Man. At least not the Mega Man I grew up with. No, the Mega Man I grew up as 80s Dan is of course a little green robot with little cybernetic circuitry that went mega high. That kid was the inspiration. Well, there's really not much to say anything later on, as we only see a bunch of more romance and lovey-dovey stuff between characters we don't really form a bond with. But of course, these guys are nothing more than cardboard. Cardboard females that want to be something more. But I think my time is done here, so I'll leave this to the next guy. Who supports that has to deal with this? While it's really no red-brown or anything really awesome, what the author seems to be intending to do with this Thundercat chapter is to just generally make fun of a classic series. No, really, pay attention. The Thundercats pop up. The Sonic and his team, oh, real right, send in Sonic to face off against Mumm-Ra, go in, and then Mumm-Ra tries to do his badass feat, which, if you grew up in the same era as he did, is usually cool, and proceeds to mock him. And what do the rest of the team do? Sit around and do nothing. That's it! Come on! Do something! Something! Oh, I haven't been this bored since the last time I played FF8. Well, luckily, this part is mercifully short. Next! Hey guys, can I be in the review too? I've got so many things I want to talk about with this game. Like how they're a predecessor. No! Absolutely not. Absolutely, no. Absolutely not. We are not outing you. But come on, I'm a famous reviewer, you know. I got paid a lot, and I was featured by YouTube, and what's that giant broom? No. Fine, all of you, get off of my property. Slam! Alright, was that weird to anybody else? Who's next? Well, this is quite different. I wasn't expecting to even review this part of the story. What are we doing? After Ball Z, and I am the brother of the demon. I command you to kneel. Oh, yes. Apparently, this is all about Ronin Warriors. Ah, Ronin Warriors. That great, most epic Saint Seiya ripoff that could. Truly, with something this epic, there'll be nothing more than grand battles and... Oh, we even have a scene of 18 facing off against one of Sennin's soldiers. Certainly, this is... 18 is going off shopping. One of the most badass fighters in Dragon Ball Z has gone off shopping with one of the female Ronin Warriors. Right. Well, at least we can all hope that the sword fight is interesting, correct? Nope, sorry. Not happening. My apologies for all of you who came to enjoy sword fights, as apparently the author is more interested in doing curb stomp battles with the characters than he is in actually doing anything entertaining. I am so sorry. So dreadfully sorry. As Sonic and the team proceed to curb stomp several fighters from all of Ronin Warriors, with little care of who made what. Mon Dieu, c'est facile alors de faire un capitaine sur Kirby, ma carcasse, comment en faisant des on me sent dans ce télé d'être pro? Oh, c'est un law. What? Is they expecting something to pop up at the end of this? Oh, alright. Hi, my name's Red Zai, and you know I'm always kiss the guys. And now, did he even beta this thing before even writing it? No, because what do we move on to? We don't move on to a grand and glorious climax. No, what we move on to is a Pokemon battle done in script format. Who does this? No one script formats anymore. They usually say script formatting for scripts. I would tell you all about this fight, but it's just so impossible to get through. I would rather have a tortoise, a snapping tortoise that is, cut my dick off during a blowjob while a bison sits all over my face. I refuse to do the rest of this.
Oh, Nurse, it's your turn. This round robin review is now next to you.
Huh? No. You don't understand. My contract only specifies me doing fantasy films, not giant crossovers that I have no idea what's saying!
You do it, or I will fire you. I can do that. I am an evil space alien, you know.
Fine, then, whatever, Mr. Giant Evil Overlord. So, with all the emeralds collected, everybody goes back to Mobius and decides to summon Spyro. And they make some random wish I don't even know what for. Where do we move on to next? Why, making the Master Sword one of the most powerful items in all of games, a part of Sonic's repertoire. I think it was already commented that there's no way in blazes Sonic would actually wield this thing. But it happened, and now we're stuck here. And now I'm going to collect my paycheck and move this on to the critic. What? No, 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 no. I'm not doing this. I've already had to sit through the entire beginning. Now, somebody else do it. Spoonie? Brad? Anybody? Likara? Oh, no. Don't look at me, guys. I'm done. I'm going. Anybody? Well, I can handle it. And you are? As of debris, I'm part of the site. Never heard of you. Anybody else that would actually be able to sufficiently wield and suffer through this torture besides me? Clitic. Oh no. Minions have been telling me that you have been reviewing a certain fanfic up there that I've been dying to get my hands on. No, 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 no! I'll handle the rest of this. So, what does this last chapter involve? Nothing but a multi-paragraph, poorly edited, poorly done fight scene, which I will now have the minions demonstrate. Mistress, none of us can actually fight. Yes, mistress, none of us actually know how to battle. I know that. That's why I brought in the Hellhounds. You will fight them instead. Hellhounds? No! And so it goes. There's a cheesy, peachy wrap-up scene that doesn't really involve anything at all with the rest of the themes, and it circles down the drain from there. I'm Diamanda Hagen, and I have to live with that every day. Well, there you have it. One of the worst films out there. And you know what I had to say to this? I would like to say, April Fools, guys. I'll bring back the normal live reads tomorrow. Goodbye. Okay. Mike is a crybaby. And you people thought I wasn't going to go by without one Mike and joke.